Let's start with chapter 0.1. It is about identities and formulas. First of all, we have to know what identity is. If you see a symbol like this, not just two lines, this means that the left hand side and right hand side, this expression is an identity. That means that no matter what x is, the left hand side and the right hand side are always equal. So this is called an identity. So for identities, what will we have for a question? Sometimes we have to find an unknown. For example, you can see that if you have 4x times bracket 2x minus 1 is identical to ax plus b, then we want to find the capital letter A and capital letter B, which means they are the unknowns. And we have two methods. One is called comparing the like terms. The other one is substitution. So most likely, we will use the first one, compare the like terms. For example, if you see the left hand side like this, you want to simplify, and it becomes 8x minus 4. 8x minus 4. And for the right hand side, it's ax plus b. Compare the coefficient, compare the constant. Then you can get the unknowns. For substitution, what will we do? We try to say that because no matter what x is, these two are equal. So we try to put x to be a certain number. For example, x be 0. Then we can, for the right hand side, we can get rid of a because a times 0 is 0. And also when you use substitution, then the equal sign, you should use the equal sign instead of the identical sign. So you try to put 0 here, and then you can find one of the unknowns. Try to let x be another number, then you can find another unknown. For identities, there are some important identities. First one is this: a squared minus b squared is identical to a plus b bracket a plus b times bracket a minus b. And sometimes you will have the left hand side, then you want to have the right hand side, and this is called factorization. And sometimes you have the right hand side, you want to get the left hand side, then this is expansion. So two more identities is this one: a plus b bracket square is identical to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and then a minus b bracket squared is identical to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And at the same time, left hand side to right hand side, this is expansion. And for the other side, right hand side to the left hand side, this is the factorization. So the other concept is formula. A formula is try to relate some variables, two or more variables, and you want to express the relationship in a formula like this. The first one, a equals to bh over 2, then you can sense it like that. The b is the base, and then this is the height over 2. So it's something like the area of triangle. The capital letter A is the area of a triangle. For example, this one, s equals to d over t. So this is distance over time, so you can get the speed. And the third one, v equals to pi r squared h. So this is a cylinder. You can find the volume by finding the base area of a cylinder times height. So we try to relate the variables in one equation. So what will we do? Sometimes we try to find the values of the formula. For example, if we have the base, we have the height, we want to find the area of a triangle, then you just put these number on it, and then you can find A. And the formula, we would like to change the subject. Now this is a very important concept. You've learned it in Form 2, and somehow you will see it quite often later on. So change of subject. Maybe, for example, a equals to bh over 2. I don't want a on the left hand side. I want, let's say, b on one side, the other things on the other side. Then you have to make sure that the formula is correct. So let's try some of the problems. For example, you can have this one. It's called that a equals to something, and you want to make b be the subject of the formula. Now, this is very similar to solving equation. First of all, we try to find out that the fraction, okay? We try to solve for the fraction. Do not have fraction. we try to write it in the sentence like this. And what it means, so that means we try to be a times the denominator equals to the numerator like this. So we try to remove the fraction, okay? So we become like this. And the other thing we need to remove is the brackets. So in this case, we try to multiply a inside, then 5ac plus ab equals to 3c minus 2b. So this is the step 1 and step 2. And what I do in the next step, we try to make b as the subject. So you can focus on here, this term you have b, and this term you have b. The other terms you don't have b. So what will I do? I will try to move this minus 2b on the left hand side and the 5ac to the right hand side. So on left hand side, you have ab and then plus 2b. And for the right hand side, originally you have 3c and then minus 5ac. So this is the third step. We try to the like terms, group the like terms, okay? Especially for the term that we want to be the subjects. So this is a b. Then what should I do in the next step? We try to make b to factorize like this, a plus 2 bracket times b. Maybe on the right hand side, you can also take out the c, the common factor, and then c times bracket 3 minus 5a. So at the end, we only want b on left hand side. So you have b equals to c times bracket 3 minus 5a over the term a plus 2. So that's the answer in this case. So remember the steps. First of all, remove the fractions, okay? Because originally it's a fraction. Try to multiply this term on the left hand side. And then remove the brackets like this, here to this one. And group the like terms, okay? So you try to put the like terms on the same side. Put the like terms on the same side. At the same time, you have to factorize so that you can have the single b here. Okay, you have to take out a plus 2 and then times b. So at the end, you can write out the answer. So one more example is this. So make m as the subject. In this case, you can see m on the left hand side and right hand side, and this is over 4. So that's the first step. What you need to do is try to multiply 4 on the right hand side. And the next step is to remove the bracket. And then we want m on the same side. But at the same time, because this is 4m, so I will usually, this is 2m, this is greater than 2m. So I would like to write down 2m on the right hand side first. And then originally you have p on left hand side minus 12. You can change onto the left hand side is plus 12. So 4m minus 2m, you can get it is 2m. So at the end, you can get is m equals to p plus 12 over 2. So you can write it like this. So that's the answer. Remember, you cannot simplify this 12 and 2 because you have a p here. Okay, the next one. So you have 3m plus n over n minus p equals to m. So this time you need to think about, hey, you have a minus p here and you have a over n here. You have to try to move this minus p on the right hand side. It will be easier. So like this, m plus p equals to 3m plus n over n. Why is easier? Because on left hand side you have only one fraction. If you only have one fraction, you can try to multiply n to the right hand side. Now, in this case, they have minus p. You cannot multiply n like that because you have a p here. Unless you multiply this term also by n, but this one will be easier for you. So try to remove that minus p to the right hand side and then multiply by n. So next step you have to do is to remove the bracket as usual, and you have to make m as the subject. So I put m on the left hand side, 3m minus mn equals to mp minus n. So on the right hand side you have m and then 3 minus n, and the right hand side n and then p minus 1. So m on the left hand side, the other terms, all of them on the right hand side, then that's the answer. How about this? You want to make x as a subject, so x minus 2y over x. So you can move the x to the right hand side to xy. And then I want x only. So what will I do? I can move 2y here. And then we move this one is a minus 2xy equals to 2y. I just don't want to have the negative value for, let's say, minus 2y. So I do it like this one more step. So x and then 1 minus 2y equals to 2y. So at the end, you can get is 2y over 1 minus 2y. So that's the answer. So lastly, you have this one. So x as a subject. So at the same time, the first step, you try to multiply x like that. So on the left hand side, and then you have to plus x on the left hand side. So right hand side you have 3y, and then x is the common factor. So you take out x and then 2k plus 1. So x equals to 3y over 2k plus 1. So how about some multiple choice questions? Now this is also some formula. You have to change the subject like this. So n, you have to find n. So what we do in this case? So simply do the same thing, but for a fraction equals to fraction, you multiply the denominator to the left hand side and the denominator here to the other side. So that means at the next step, what will you have is mn times 2 equals to 3m plus n times 1. So of course you can write down 2mn equals to 3m plus n. Then I only want n. You can move that n plus n becomes minus n. And take out n here. So you have the bracket like this. And then n equals to 3m over 2m minus 1. So the answer is A. How about this one? It's the identity. Now remember, for identities, you have two ways to do so. You can do it by substitution or by comparing the like terms. In this case, I want to find m, and I look at the right hand side here. This term, you have a bracket of x minus 1 and times another term. So if x is 1, then this whole term will be disappeared. So what will I do? I try to say when x equals to 1. So the left hand side is 1 squared plus 2m times 1 plus 7. And the right hand side, 1 minus 1 times something plus 4. Okay? So even you know it's m minus 3, it doesn't matter because 0 times anything is 0. So equals to 4. So this is 1 plus 2m plus 7 equals to 4. So you have 2m equals to minus 4. So m actually you can get is minus 2. But of course you can expand it. So the right hand side you can expand it like this. So nx squared and then minus nx minus 3x plus 3 plus 4. So what will you have for the right hand side is nx squared and then minus. This one is very careful. It's minus bracket n plus 3 times x plus 7. So compared to the left hand side, you know that nx squared is equal to x squared. So something like this. And then n is equal to 1. So when n equals to 1, that means the term here is minus 4x. And then 2mx is identical to minus 4x. So you have 2m equals to negative 4. So you know that m is minus 2 as well. Alright, so next one, you have this one is also the identity. So in this case, we have to find the values of b and c. So what will I do in this case? So simply, you can think about, can I get rid of a and also get rid of b or something c? For this case, because there are 3 unknowns, by substitution, it would be a little bit complicated. So somehow I suggest you can use this to try to expand it and compare the coefficient. So for the left hand side, you can get is a times, remove this bracket first, you can use the identity to do so, plus b. So the left hand side is ax squared plus 2ax plus, and then bracket a plus b. Why I put a bracket here is that to show that this is the whole constant term. And for the right hand side, you can remove the bracket. So simply you can see that you try to reorder, and actually it's the descending power of x. So you have the x squared first, and this is 6x squared, and then plus 4xc, and you don't have the constant term. So what it means? That means when you compare the first coefficient, ax squared and then 6x squared, you know that a equals to 6. And at the next term, you can compare this 2ax and the 4cx. So 4c equals to 2a, so 2 times 6. So c actually is 3. C is 3. So once you know that c is 3 and the other one is the constant term, this is a plus b, this is 0. So a plus b equals 0. So a plus b equals 0, then b is negative 6. So the answer is D. Okay, so the other question, the MC question like this, is try to use the formula, change of subject. So A over B minus C equals to C over D. Don't think that it is easy. You have to think about it very carefully, because you have a term like this is C, the other two are fraction. So what would you do? You would multiply all the terms by the LCM of the denominator, so which is the B times D. So each of the terms you have to multiply BD and then times the original term, and then equals to BD times the original term. So that means for this equation, you multiply them all by a certain number, so you can still get the same result. So then the next step, what will you do? You will try to multiply it. You get AD for the first term, and this one is the next one is BCD, and the last one is BC. So you want B, you try to move BCD on the right hand side, and then you can take out B. So C plus CD, AD. So B is equals to AD divided by C plus CD. Then you can get the answer is B. Okay, one more. You have to find out the unknown B here. So you have these two terms like this. Then what will you do? So you can try to left hand side, try to simplify terms. ax squared plus 2bx minus bx squared. Then that means you have a minus b bracket times x squared plus 2bx. And for the right hand side, you can get is bx squared and then plus abx. So what will you do? So when you look at x, the term, the coefficient of x, so 2b equals to ab. So b is always equal to b, so 2 is equal to a. A is 2. And then compare the coefficient of x squared, so a minus b and b. So a is 2, so 2 minus b equals to b. So that means 2 equals to 2b. B is actually 1. So you get the answer. Okay, so one more. You have to find x in terms of a. So first of all, multiply 2 minus x to a, and then 1 plus x to 3. So you can get 2a minus ax equals to 3 plus 3x. Then you can move plus 3 on the left hand side, minus ax to the right hand side. So you can get is x times 3 plus a, and then 2a minus 3. So x is actually equals to 2a minus 3 over 3 plus a. So this is the answer is this D. Alright, so next one, you want to find T. So in this case, remember x plus 6 first, and then 5 over 4 minus T. So you want T, so you have times 4 minus T to this term is s plus 6 equals to 5. So in this case, you may try to remove the bracket. So like this, equals to 5. So those terms with t, you can keep it, and then the other terms, you have to remove it. So what will you have is like this. So in this case, you can see the negative sign. So let's say you have all these terms are in the negative sign. So basically, you can think about that each term times negative 1. So you have st plus 60 equals to 4s plus 19. Okay, just change the position. And then t, you have to multiply s plus 6 and then 4x plus 19. So t equals to 4s plus 19 over s plus 6. The answer is C. Last one, you have to find A. So in terms of m, what will you do in this case? Remove the brackets. So m squared minus am equals to A. Now, but in this case, I can just keep it. So why? Or of course, you can remove it. Because it's like you have already taken out A as the common factor. But never mind, I just remove all of them. So A minus am. In this case, it's actually plus am. Interesting. So what we have here is A actually is m squared. Alright, so this is A equals to m squared. So the answer is C.